So. Harris County Criminal Lawyers Association's Reasonable Doubt here with the abominable, amazing trial master Justin Harris. There he is.
I'm here. Hello.
There he is. There he is. There he is. As always.
Last minute technical detail.
Oh, well, you look beautiful. You look gorgeous. You sound amazing. How are you doing?
I'm great. I can't see you, but I know you look good because you always do.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
My glasses are crooked.
Thank you
I
very
have
much.
to change glasses in the middle of the show.
Oh, well.
Oh, there you are. Look, you do look great.
They don't have lenses in them anyway. We all know that, Justin.
Yeah, you're still the same.
Here with my trial partner, lawyer extraordinaire, and the amazing, the one and only Adam Corral.
Hello, folks. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me, as always.
Adam, thanks for being there, man. Coming through in the clutch.
He is coming through in the clutch, man. Just like defense lawyers do. You know that we do. Yeah. I'd like to say hello to everybody who's watching, friends and family. Hi, how you doing? We do know that we have that we reach a ton of people thanks to Houston Media Source. I think it's about time and proper we represent the man in the booth, Mr. Mark Pirtle for Houston Media Source. How you doing?
There's Mark.
Hello.
There he is. Support your local media stations, please. So, we're here to talk about some criminal law stuff. What's going on at the courthouse? You remember that on the radio? They used to do What You Doing at the Courthouse?
What you doing at the courthouse?
Are they still
97.9 on Friday mornings?
Are they still doing that?
I don't know, man. I got a new car. It has Sirius XM in there, and I don't know. I don't listen to local radio anymore. It's weird.
You know, Adam?
Don't know.
Oh, man. See, I guess I haven't listened. What is it, 97.9? No. 98?
97.9. It used to be. Maybe it's a new one now.
No, 97.9 is the box, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the box. It was Rula and Ryan, I think.
Oh. Let me see. Let me see what the internet says.
Enough about that nonsense.
What you doing at the courthouse?
Let's get to why we're here. What's the gossip down at the CJC? We can let's just work our way up the levels. So.
Well, the big courthouse this week has been in Austin.
Ooh, that's right.
In the House chambers on the impeachment trial, right?
That is the big gossip. That has been playing in almost every courtroom. It may be like in the back, in the kitchen, in the witness room, even in the courtrooms. What is your, have you watched any of it?
I have not watched, no. I've been getting ready for some trials. I've been watching like highlight reels and things like that.
Adam, you seen any of it?
I got to say.
What you got to say? Say it.
I was going to say, it's really kind of funny. There's an irony I can't put my finger on quite yet about the fact that this last legislative cycle, they passed so many laws, which I know you're going to get into some of those later on in the show, that had to do with reining in Harris County judges. Lobbyists were calling this like the anti-Harris County legislative session. And then the Attorney General for Texas, who was impeached by the House in a landslide vote, like 123 to 20 or 120 to 23, something like that. He's now on trial, and the two attorneys who were prosecuting him that the House of Representatives hired are two prominent Harris County attorneys, Dick DeGuerin and Rusty Hardin. And then the two defense attorneys for Mr. Paxton are two prominent Harris County attorneys, Tony Busby and Dan Cogdell. So it's just really kind of ironic that they have so much hate for Harris County, but then either they want them to prove their case or they want them to defend their guy, and they come to Harris County.
Well,
They know where the best is.
we were talking about that earlier. And if you notice, the people that are all around those lawyers are all from Houston too. You have Aaron Epley, you have Anthony Also, you have every one of them from Harris County. Everybody's Harris County. Everybody's Houston lawyer. And so the question is posed, does Harris County have some of the best lawyers in Texas?
Yes.
What says you, Adam?
Absolutely. Although Dan Patrick thinks that Dallas has the best judges, I suppose.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. But if I'm not mistaken, okay, so General Paxton, as for whatever reason, Tony Busby's calling him everybody's calling him General Paxton. I mean, that's cool. I ain't hating on it. They moved their case to Harris County, if I'm not mistaken, and it's in Judge Bell's court. Am I right on that?
185th.
Yeah, that's Judge. Yeah.
The criminal trial for the
I don't know what I don't know if he's charged with public corruption or what is he charged with in the Harris laundering.
I think it's like a fraud thing. I think it's a fraud. Let me look it up real quick.
So it's in Harris County, and everybody is from Harris County. I do, and so I wonder how Harris County compares to the other major counties in Texas. And we're not here to say, oh, we're the best. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just comparably. I wonder if other counties see as many trials, or how Harris County compares to the rest of the state as a whole regarding trials, regarding filings. I guess the closest cities would be the metropolitan areas would be San Antonio and Dallas, regarding the size at least, and maybe Travis County also. I'm just curious about the filings and the size of them. We're on the live wire here, and Max, he says we're the best. I happen to agree with you, Max Rabinovich. I agree with you.
Yeah, Max is not wrong.
And if you also look at all the lore and the history, I mean, we're watching it, right? We have Rusty Hardin, Dan Cogdale, Tony Busby, Dick DeGuerin. You know, it's so crazy when you see these guys walking through the courthouse and walking through the halls. Like today, we see Mike DeGuerin, we see Dick DeGuerin, we see Dan all the time, we see Rusty all the time, and it's just wow to see these guys, these legal giants, do this is amazing. I don't know if you've ever seen.
Well, it's kind of funny. Like I have like friends from around the state and other states who are texting me who are watching the trial, and they're saying comments on one side's attorneys or the other, and I'm like, these are colleagues. I like ride the elevators with them. It'd be cool to be able to say that they're friends, but they're colleagues, and they are legal giants, but they're also, I share air with them, and I'm not as intimidated by them. If I didn't know them and I just saw them on TV, it might be different, but they're just regular old guys. That's what's actually what makes them effective as trial lawyers, is that their ability to just connect with regular people, because they are relatively regular people. They're gods to us, but they're regular people. Yeah, Ken Paxton, it took me a while to find it because his first name is Warren, but he's charged with security, business practices, fraud, over $100,000 times 2, and then an investment advisor, a representative without registration. All 3 cases in the 185th. Those have been going on for 6 years, man.
Can you check out the filings and see who's actually handling the case on the DA side?
On the DA side, sure.
Yeah, check the latest filing. Who's signing that stuff?
Oh, well, no. These are the ones that Kent Schaefer and Brian Weiss.
Oh, fair enough.
The attorney pro tems on.
That's right. God.
Yeah.
And I guess Dan. I don't know if Busby's representing him in the state court also, but I know Dan is.
This says Dan is a hired attorney on this one.
Wow. What a year. What a year for that guy. He's all over Showtime with that series Waco. you know, and then
Dan, yeah.
and then now he has the biggest case. They're talking about it nationally right now. That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
And you know,
What's amazing to me is that how the attorney general is supposed to like get treated just like all of our other clients. This case has been filed like there. This is in the 185th since 2017. That predates even Jason Luong on the bench, right? So there's been 3 district court judges presiding over this case, and it still gets to like linger along.
no, I think it was transferred, right? I think that's a recent thing, isn't it?
Maybe. It says file date 6/13/2017. Let me see
Wow.
how far back the clerk's activity. And the case number is a 155 case number.
So
A felony 155 case number. We're now at 180, 182.
that case is going to trial.
So
I mean, it's going to trial unless they dismiss it. We know. I mean, Dan isn't going to let Paxton take any deal. I mean, no way. And that's going to happen. I think this. I wonder if this impeachment trial or the next election has any influence as to what happens on the criminal case. I'd like to think
this
it
may have
does.
been transferred over. You're right, because I can't tell. I don't know. I can't tell. There's entries going back to 2017 in here,
So
2015 even, but
so
they also are all.
so let's talk about the actual trial. I haven't. I've watched probably 4 hours of it. It's been going on for a week or so now.
Yeah.
Man, I was just like everyone else. I wanted to see obviously Dan and do his thing, Rusty and Dick do their thing, obviously. But right out the gate, they put Baby Osso. They put Anthony Osso Jr. out there, man. And from what I understand, I didn't see it. He was giving Rusty hell. He on the other side, he was going back to back to back, and he said, "This is my time." And from what I understand, he killed it. So shout out to Anthony Osso Jr. Kicking butt over there at the Capitol. His dad is a legend here. He was at the DA office forever. Was hired by Cogdale, and now he went out there and kicked some butt. I heard he killed it.
I did see some. I went and found some clips of him doing some questioning, and I saw some like side eyes by Rusty towards him.
Well, I mean, he has this young kid. With respect, Anthony Osso Jr. is not a young kid, but comparably, I'm a young kid to Rusty, and he was just all over the place. And you got to realize Rusty's going into a hostile venue also.
Sure.
Rusty and Dick are going into a very hostile venue. And you have Dan Patrick presiding, where it almost sometimes it does seem one-sided. It does objectively, but is what it is. So let's move on to what was the next big thing, because there's a lot of boring stuff in there, and they got really into the weeds. Next big thing that everybody was talking about was Busby's skin color. I heard it was mahogany on the first day, and then he kind of lightened it up on the next day. That's what I understand it to be.
It's a very rich color.
I thought the man looked great. Okay, I thought he looked great. I thought he acted great. I thought he killed it. But from what I understand,
he wins if we're talking about him.
From what I understand, it was mahogany on the first day, and the other thing is supposedly he was wearing the same suit, just changed the tie. But if anybody knows me in trial, I wear the same thing from start to finish. I'm just changing ties and hoping I don't spill any food on my suit. That's just me.
Is that your like good luck thing?
When you're in the weeds of it and thick of it, you are what you are. I mean, and when the suit's on fire and giving you the juice, you keep wearing it. You just change the tie. You don't do too much on it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Here's my brother, Joel. Hey, how you doing? Okay, so the other, what's the other hot topic? I heard that they were bickering back and forth a bit. I heard Aaron Epley was putting Busby in place and shutting him down. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't get to see it. I would love to, but I have been on the other side of Aaron Epley. Believe me, you don't want to
She
be
won't
there.
back. She doesn't back down.
No. So I thought she went to work for the U.S. Attorney's Office. I guess maybe she got, I don't know if she left that and went decide to go work for Hardin or Dick. But I don't know. I don't know. But she's there. So maybe she's doing this like a special assignment or something.
I think she's left the AUSA. I may be wrong.
I don't know. So what else?
I don't either.
What else? So, and then finally, we were all waiting. First, they said that they were going to come out at the end of the day on Wednesday. So we were all waiting for Thursday morning. They were going to call the mistress. They were going to call her, and she was going to get directed and crossed by two legends. I can't even imagine how that felt. But something happened, something about the witness is unavailable and both parties agree. And then Busby was like, excuse me? Like, why did you, I guess it kind of felt like combative. And then Patrick said, no, that's just what I understand. The parties have agreed that the last witness, the mistress, is unavailable. And so then we were like, what? So everything broke on Wednesday, and then in Thursday morning, everybody is waiting for the mistress again, but apparently they just moved on and never called her. Now, I don't know if she was ever called.
And they rested.
Right, and there was this thing about, oh, he rested, and so Hardin rests. He says, I rest after the direct, and then Busby says, I'm going to do some legal motion, some motion practice here. I'm going to recall the witness, but I'm going to move for a directed verdict first. And then Rusty comes in and says, Judge, I made a mistake. Give me a break. Come on. But because of his hostile venue, or not, because he made an error, Patrick said, no, you rested. It's Busby's floor now. His directed verdict was overruled, and I think he ultimately called that witness back to the stand.
Well, and the directed verdict is kind of interesting, right? I don't think that the judge rules on it like we're used to.
No.
The directed verdict was the Senate goes out and takes a vote.
That's right.
And I think they needed 16 members to vote for the directed verdict, which seems weird, right? Because a directed verdict is when a judge looks at a jury and directs them to go find a particular verdict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
it's a
There's
vote.
No voting. They can't vote.
Well, and I don't know if what the rules were for a directed verdict in the sense of, is it a majority vote? Is it a unanimous vote? I don't know what it was, but I'm assuming it didn't fly. If anybody on the live wire can tell us, I don't think the directed verdict was granted.
No, it was not successful.
So the mistress was never called, and everybody was waiting there with their Cheetos, waiting to see. She was never called. But did you see what she was wearing?
Mm-mm.
And by all accounts, looked gorgeous. Okay?
Yeah.
But it's like, you're coming into this trial, somebody didn't tell her what to wear, or somebody did. I don't know. I genuinely don't. She was wearing this gorgeous white dress. Her hair was perfect. This deep red lipstick. She looked like Kim Basinger in Basic Instinct. Or was it Michelle Pfeiffer?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it Michelle Pfeiffer?
No, it's not Pfeiffer.
I think it's Pfeiffer. Oh, it's Kim Basinger. Right?
Isn't it Stone?
Basic Instinct is
Sharon Stone. It was Sharon Stone. It was Sharon Stone.
But she does have that look going. And that's gotta be awkward because Kim Paxton's wife was in the room, right? When she was there.
Yeah, but also that whole thing broke years ago, and so I commend Paxton and his wife for staying together. I think that's awesome. I think that's straight. I think that looks good. I think that's good for him. I think it's good for her, and I don't think it's anybody else's business. If they want to work on this and make this work, I think that's okay. That's my opinion. Right?
Yeah, if they want to work on this and work on this,
yeah, let them work.
But I'm saying it's awkward to have your husband's ex-mistress come in who's now drug your whole family through all of this. I mean, they have kids, right?
I think so. I don't know. And I mean, you have to believe
Four
that
children.
you have to believe it was about to get dirty. You know they're gonna get in the weeds on all that. You know they are, because supposedly he, used the assistance of that other real estate guy to hire her at his real estate firm, and then get an Uber in somebody else's name to go back and forth, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And supposedly she has some history with some other senator from San Antonio or something. Who knows? But whatever. Adults are consenting adults. But I think everybody was waiting for that. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then I think.
Oh yeah.
I think they made the right call by not putting her on. And I think it was gentlemanly. I think it was. That's patronistic. I think it was the right call. It was not the venue to go through all of that. And if it was by agreement or whoever made that choice, I think that's good because it didn't cloud the issues and turn this into a circus. So I think as though these legal giants, my opinion matters whatsoever. That's just my opinion. I encourage people on the live wire to say something though too, if you want.
Yeah,
to.
I'd love to hear from some other people who've been watching more of this than you and I. Between the two of us, sounds like we've got a solid 4 hours of actual watching live testimony.
Well, Max says it was Sharon Stone, so we know Max has watched this movie. Another great movie. What's another great movie Sharon Stone was in? Was it The Getaway or was that Kim Basinger with Charlie Sheen?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't
You know what I
I'm not
mean?
sure. I don't know which movie you're
It's
talking about. I'm not
neither
sure
of
the
them.
actress.
I think it's The Getaway.
I don't think Sharon Stone's in the Getaway.
Who's in 9.5 Weeks? You have Baldwin, and I think that one might be Sharon Stone.
It's Bruce Willis. I don't think it's Bald.
It's Alec Baldwin in 9.5 Weeks, bro. It is not Bruce Willis. Google it. Google the thing. Speaking
Mickey
of
Rourke. Mickey Rourke.
Oh, it is Mickey
both
Rourke. It's Mickey Rourke.
And Kim Basinger.
Yeah,
Kim
you
Basinger.
see, 50.
We are really digressing.
Oh, well.
But yeah.
Okay. So, moving on. So, okay, here's the agenda. We said it at the beginning. It goes gossip, races, chases, dentist, big cases, legislature. So now we're moving on. So,
Yeah, a little mnemonic there. That's pretty good. I didn't even remember the order. Impressed.
it just comes. It flows.
Right.
So now we go to gossip, races, man, races. Speaking of races, Shantir versus Kim Ogg. What you think, man? The top law, the DA. You think Shantir has a chance against Kim Ogg? And I encourage anybody who's listening to chime in also.
Yeah, I think he has a chance. I don't know, like, if there's going to be anybody who's actually a Democrat who runs for the Democratic nomination, because those are just two Republicans running as Democrats because they know that they wouldn't stand a chance as a Republican on the general ticket. But I would like to see somebody with more progressive ideas, because they're going to be fighting over who can go back in time faster, who can do things like the old people used to do faster. I'd like to see somebody not even as a defense attorney, but as somebody in Harris County who's just seeing, like, people talk about high crime rates and bond violations and things like that. An actual progressive person come out and, like, run for district attorney and make a concerted effort on the Democratic side give Democratic voters a choice. Now, there's not much difference, I think, between Kim Ogg and Shantir. I don't mean any offense against either one of them. There's more similarities that they're going to have than differences.
But two questions. One, can a progressive candidate actually win? And then two, progressive how?
Yeah, a progressive candidate can win. Franklin Bynum ran openly as a Democratic socialist the first time. And remember that fight in that court for Court 8? That was a contentious Democratic runoff and then a contentious general election. The Republican primary was even tough. That was Dan Simons and Jay Carahan.
Yeah.
That got ugly, and Franklin didn't hide his progressive credentials. He rode them all the way through the primary and then the general. Now, he was beat in the Democratic primary the following time, but I think that the progressiveness of I don't think that Judge Ramirez, the current presiding judge of Court 8 who beat Judge Bynum in the primary, I don't think she ran to be more conservative. I don't think their ideologies were that different. So I do think that Harris County voters will elect a progressive Democrat as long as they make what their policies are make sense. They can communicate those to the voters, and the voters can like see the differences. And we don't see that a lot in Democratic primaries, but especially local elections.
Judge Elsa says 100% agree, or Justice, pardon me, 100% agree regarding Shantir and Og are on the same policy. Wow. You know, it's a lot easier, Justin. You got some big weight behind you, okay? Like, okay, I can jump behind Justin, but maybe I won't say anything. But when Justice Elsa says this, yeah, you know what?
Who said it? Oh, Justice Elsa said that?
Yeah.
She's watching? Oh,
Yeah.
All right, cool.
You know, and she.
I should have worn a tie.
Well, you know, you're. I mean, maybe.
I'm gonna sit
Adam.
up a little bit.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but the reality is, I tend to agree with you. I don't think much is going to change. I think Shantir is always. I think he has. I think he has a chance. But I just don't know. What is he going to go in there and fire a whole bunch of people? I don't think so, because I think they have a good. I think they have a good like attorney pool at the DA office. You have good lawyers. I think you have good lawyers. I just don't think they're as experienced as they need to, because they're all young. They're all young, and they
you can't fire anybody. They can't afford to lose anybody. I would be curious to see any change in leadership in the DA's office. If any of the people who've left in the last 5 years or so, like, kind of come back, you know, because you go out to Fort Bend, you go out to Galveston, Montgomery County, and you see people who a few years ago you saw in Harris County as prosecutors. And so I'd be curious to see if any of them come back.
Well, and here's the question. Do you think that they would? I mean, okay, so maybe Shantir wins and he opens up maybe 5 big spots. Because otherwise they're going to have to shut down practices and go back to practicing in the prosecutor's office. They're probably making more money now than they did there.
I don't mean defense attorneys. I mean, I've seen prosecutors move from Harris County District Attorney's office to like Fort Bend County DA's office, Montgomery County DA's office, Galveston. I think I saw a couple in Brazoria who I hadn't seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw John Donovan on there. But
Man,
yeah,
I haven't heard.
I'd be curious. I don't know why all those folks left. So they may not have left because they had a problem with the administration. But I would just be curious to see if any do start to come back.
Young John Donovan, where's he at?
I saw the elevator doors closing when I was on like the 3rd floor at the Brazoria courthouse. And I just presumed that maybe he was there as a prosecutor, but I don't know.
Oh, well.
I hadn't seen him in a while.
Other hot races. What do we got? You have a race pull up?
I gotta pull it up.
Okay, Adam's gonna pull up the race card. What else we got? Who's running? We got Cornelio running in the 351. She's kicking ass. I don't think she has an opponent yet.
Well, it's an interesting year because they've announced 3 new district courts.
Oh yeah.
For Harris County.
Mm-hmm.
So people who like want to be a judge, they're like, well, wait a second, I could like apply instead of like run, and maybe I can get appointed by Governor Abbott to take that bench. And then, or if I'm not one of the people who applies for that, I can run when that seat comes open again, and there may not be an incumbent on that. So I think that the announcement of those 3 new district courts might have changed the calculus for some people who were thinking about throwing their hat in to challenge an incumbent judge. I think maybe now they're like, let me just see what shakes out with these new courts. Well, that'd be easier to take one of those benches, which I wish they wouldn't do, because there are some judges who both sides of the bench, of the bar, feel might not be appropriate on the bench.
Some of the new they're opening 3, and what are they putting? They're opening 2 now and 1 in the new year.
I don't know the timing of it.
From what I understand,
I don't think the funding is there for the staffing yet, so I don't know when they're actually like function and open the courts. But I don't think it'll be in this calendar year. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But.
From what I understand, I think like Jamal has put in for one of the new benches. The deal goes is they're going to be appointed, but they're going to be up for this election cycle. At least 2 of the 3 is my understanding. I'm not sure if that's.
I think that's about what I've heard. I haven't looked at it, but that's what I've been told.
Real quick, we have a question that says, what's the latest you can visit a defendant at the federal courthouse, federal detention center in downtown? The answer is 8, but in reality, you got to get there at 6:30. That's off topic. I know. Moving back. Races.
That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, is to answer questions. So
Races.
Whatever you want.
Adam, you got it up?
Getting there, but the hot race right now is the Houston mayor race.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about who's running.
Well, I mean, Sheila
Jackson.
the senator,
John
Whitmire,
Whitmire.
right?
Whitmire.
And a bunch of other people.
Isn't there a Latino running? Is it Garcia, right?
Adrian?
No. I think it's Gilbert.
Oh, okay.
Something. No, it's not.
Might have seen
It's
those
Garcia, and then you got the guy who used to. Is that the guy who used to run Metro or something? They have a guy who used. Yeah, the guy who used to run Metro. Wow, that's a tough race. I don't live in the city of Houston, so I won't be able to vote on that one. And I don't know how I would vote if I could. It's interesting. I don't know. Maybe I don't understand the prestige of being the mayor of Houston, but Sheila Jackson Lee's got a distinguished career as a really powerful congresswoman in D.C. But wait. Did you just say you don't know what the what the lure is to be the mayor of Houston? I
don't know what
the Houston, Texas. The world champion Astros? That's what I'm saying.
It's the greatest city on earth, but she gets to go to D.C. and represent us in D.C. I would think that would be a little bit more
fancy,
prestigious, and she can do that forever. Whereas I think you're term limited as mayor, right?
Hey, man.
And you can't run as a party. Still don't understand why the mayor can't run as a party affiliate. Can city council run affiliated as a party?
I'm not sure. Other hot races, Adam. Where are we at?
Coming up. Sorry.
Other hot races.
Well, of course, we've talked about the 338 primary between Ramona Franklin and so far Allison Mathis.
Do we think Allison has a shot to knock the seat to take the bench in that court?
I mean, when you ask does anybody have a chance? I mean, that's like.
Is it possible?
When your clients ask you could I go to jail in this case?
Okay, well, do you have a doubt, and is it reasonable?
Right.
I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah, I think that I definitely think that in a Democratic primary, if you can get the right people motivated, because really, when you look down to it, so few people vote. If you can get enough people motivated, yes, it's absolutely possible for Allison to prevail in that primary.
I am on the phone.
I think so too. I agree with you, Justin.
I am on the phone.
We got a phone call.
What? It works?
Yeah, let's go. Caller, is this the Honorable Franklin Bynum?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Awesome.
How are you doing?
Hey, Judge, how are you?
Figured I'd spice up the airwaves a little bit tonight.
Spice it up,
Please
man.
do.
What you got?
Yo, yeah.
How you been doing?
Houston mayor sucks, dude. I mean,
Talk to us. What do you mean?
Because the mayor, the mayor the city budget is a fraction of the county budget. The action is at the county. What the city does is it does 2 things primarily, and it does them really poorly. The majority of the city budget is HPD, and we all know how that's going.
Yes.
And then the rest of it is trash pickup. And then when they do a bad enough job with trash pickup, then they just start charging people, using HPD, and one hand washes the other. But yeah, how are y'all doing?
Yeah, because that's right. Because they don't even do our water. They don't do our electricity. It's trash. It's waste.
The city does water. But poorly. I mean, how many boil water notices have we had in the
City
past?
of Houston has water, yeah, but I guess outside the unincorporated areas, it's the mud districts. I don't get it. I don't. Sylvester Turner had a great career in the state legislature. I don't understand why. I don't know what the pull is, but maybe being the mayor of the third, fourth largest city in the
Well, it's an
country is
easy
like
job.
prestigious. Is that it?
Well, it's an easy job. You get to be the center of attention. A lot of these people really love that. They get a staff, they get the prestige, and I mean, look, I obviously think Sheila is great, would be great. I think that like Whitmire is several more years of the same. I mean, you just get someone who's like just someone who's some over the hill, a self-absorbed state senator who just wants to come and lodge petty battles from the mayor's office, and that's what Turner
Right.
was, and that's what Whitmire will be.
And then just retired finally from that.
Yeah, basically. I mean, so yeah.
Let me ask you this: do any of as an insider like yourself?
Sure.
Is there any chance that any Dems get upseated or their benches taken? And if so, who's the most vulnerable in your opinion?
Oh man, I don't know really. It really is all like totally like you're talking about Dem primaries.
Well, so yes, talking about.
Are you saying who's in danger?
I don't know. I mean, okay, well, because I guess the only bench up this year is 16. Am I wrong? Or
right.
this cycle? So
Yeah. County court.
And
sure.
I don't think anyone's primary in 16, and I don't know if anybody's gonna on the Republican side.
Somebody's running. Yeah, somebody's running.
On the Dem.
Well, I've heard that
Stephanie
the
Morales.
incumbent in 16 is not going to be running for re-election. And I think I know Stephanie Morales is running.
My dear friend, the incumbent in there, his political future has been a subject of intrigue since before since running was before it was a glimmer in my eye. So,
Right.
Nobody knows but him really, if he does.
Does Stephanie Morales stand a chance to take Jordan's bench?
Well, I mean,
You keep asking stand a chance.
Not in a world that respects the good work that incumbents have done, but I mean, like, hi, I'm former Judge Franklin Bynum. Do we live in a world that respects? Do we live in a democratic primary system that respects the good work that incumbents has done? You tell me.
Fair
Right.
point. Let me ask you this: you ever running again? What do you think?
No. Oh no.
No. Forget about it.
No, forget about
There's
it.
still work to be done, and there was still good work that you did. And I think that the way things shook out shows that you were like shaking the right trees.
Oh, 100%.
I really believe that.
I was just looking at this. The Houston Chronicle ran a because y'all and our viewers will know that you can make a difference at the courthouse and then look at the thing. You can make a small difference at the courthouse or a big difference. And then take a look at the whole and just feel like it's a Sisyphean task that you're like, oh, the courthouse, in some way, it's just so resistant to permanent change. And it's hard to feel like you did anything good, even if you did a whole lot at that courthouse, because things just grind on.
Well, isn't that why we have portraits? So when you look at the portrait, you can remember all the things.
Isn't that what we? Yeah, just look at those old white guys and think about. But so.
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old. But so I saw this article that was revisiting in the Chronicle, like the Dr. Gokul case.
Sure.
Because I guess that there's some, and the Dr. Gokul case for those who aren't living in my brain right now. The Dr. Gokul case is when the mechanism of Harris County Public Health and the district attorney's office mobilized very quickly to try to criminalize a doctor's administration of vaccine, like some spare vaccine doses out in the field. That's just a quick summary. I'm not saying what's what about it, but
there's a lawsuit now on it.
Yeah, and some of the things that are revealed in the lawsuit are just like really just like scandalous but not surprising. That like, oh, you're telling me that like middle management at County Public Health did like a 3-hour investigation before they made this weighty decision, and that the DA's office just lined up on a paper thin, stupid case, and we're like, let's go, like buckle up, let's go. Like, of course nobody thought about that. Like, of course nobody stopped to consider all of the various problems with that. So I looked at that this week, and I was just like, that's something I did. I did stop the train for that ridiculous thing.
Right.
That is something. And to this day, like, that's probably, that one no PC, that which in the scheme of things, like, I mean, you both seen no PCs. They happen all the time, right? Who cares?
Wait, that was you, right? I mean, you're saying that was you.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that was you.
That was the only time I ever wrote a written opinion on a no PC, because I was like, well, people are going to want to know. And it's really quite simple, that it's just like, it's not, it's just legally not theft. And even if it were, like, I've seen self-checkout affidavits longer than that one,
Sure.
So you're just going to try to make a novel factual theory, and then you're not even going to try to. But I mean, the thing is that we all suffer when there's no oversight of cops. I mean, judges ultimately are oversight of cops, as I've discussed on this program before. And people need to tell the cops and the cops of the workplace, the human resources department, they need to be told no when they need to be told no.
Mm-hmm.
And, so anyway.
Speaking of...
Just apropos of nothing.
So, Franklin, stay on the phone or leave, but hang with us. So,
stay on or leave.
Stay
on.
I'll hang on.
So, okay, so this was the agenda. So it was gossip, races, and then chases. And so, speaking of HPD, people having to govern the people, the agencies that are restricting or keeping the peace or law enforcing the laws without oversight, they run amok. I mean, they just do. And one of my favorite things that that I remember and that I hold, that's just burned into my DNA, is that the defense is the last line to protect the citizens of government tyranny. We are literally the last line. And to get to us, there had to have been all sorts of mechanisms and processes to get to where we finally have the case. And so today and last week, there was all sorts of city hall meetings and all sorts of things going on in the media regarding HPD car chases. Recent statistics show that, what did they chase? They got into like 2,200 chases, is that right?
Something like that effect, yes.
2,200 cases, and 150 people got injured, and like 10 people died. Well, we go to trial last week, right in the midst of all these city hall hearings. And our guy is accused of felony murder, with the underlying felony being felony evading. There's a chase. Someone ends up dying, and then they charge my guy with or Adam and I's guy with the offense of murder for the other guy, the unintentional murder of the other guy. And so during all we voir dire on HPD, City Hall, they're just running amok. They're going too far. They're not even following their own internal policies. So we basically put HPD on trial for a week about how they failed and so they violated their policies A to Z, and then they self-checked themselves. They self-checked themselves and through an internal investigation, and they clear everybody. And so the argument
Those go great.
Yeah, right. And so the argument to the jury is, are you serious? They want this guy, my guy, to go down for a murder, and they want to call him a murderer when there's a lot more people responsible for this, and that's just not right. And the jury, so he's charged with felony murder. The jury comes back with just a felony evading. And because they violated their HPD policy about chasing and why they should chase from A to Z. And if you read the Chronicle today, it comes out HPD is now has modified their chase policy, or what is it? Do you have it?
The headline is HPD to halt police chases for certain offenses in major change aimed at safety.
So it's about safety. It's about public safety. And so the idea is that you don't have to go chasing people. You don't got to go doing these high-speed chases all over the place. for crimes that don't need it, like property crimes or like crimes in the middle of nowhere. You don't have to have these chases where people end up dying, bad people or good people, quite frankly. It doesn't matter. HPD needs to stop chasing people. And while it's difficult, and it's not difficult for me to do because there are a lot of good cops, and they just are. And now maybe HPD as a whole has a whole heck of a lot of problems, but I will commend them for ending their chase policy, or at least changing their chase policy, because enough people have died on the streets of Houston, Texas. But that's just
Couldn't agree more.
That's what I'm saying. Why are you chasing people?
I'm still here. Yo, Mo, you want to say hi to Justin, JB?
Hey, Mo.
Hello.
Hey, Mo.
Hi.
We're gonna watch some Star Trek. I'm sorry to say we're gonna catch the end of the program and then watch some Star Trek.
That's way better than this.
It's always a pleasure, man. VIP, Franklin.
All right, love y'all. See you.
Love you, dude.
Live long and prosper.
Other big cases that are going around the courthouse. I think maybe 3 weeks ago, the district attorney's butt just got kicked all over the place by the defense bar. What was it, like 2 or 3 murders in the span of 2 weeks they lost? Wasn't it something like that?
Something like that, yes.
Today, so all over the news is the dentist who left. Was it her patient or was it her own child?
Patient, right?
On anesthesia or something for the whole day, caused brain damage. She ended up getting sued for $95 million. And then they brought criminal charges against her. And I don't know, I think it was charged as a manslaughter. No, it wasn't. Never mind. Injury to child, because the child's still alive. Supposedly that case was a big deal. Hey, Corey's watching. Corey's on the car chase murder case. Corey, we should talk. Rock on. Anyways, so this dentist was accused and then convicted of, I guess, injury to a child. I don't know if they charged him
recklessly causing serious bodily injury to a child by omission.
By omission. I hate those omission charges, accusations. It's like you should have done something. Well,
yeah,
I mean, fair. I mean, in some situations, maybe you should.
It's usually you get charged for doing something you're not supposed to do. Rarely do you get charged with a criminal offense for not doing something you're supposed to do.
So apparently, halfway through the trial, or at least maybe after the verdict, the defense team was wanted to change their election from a judge or a jury punishment, and apparently the state, Gilbert on the state, refused to agree to the change, and I think they were just going to go to the jury. And apparently they almost got to fisticuffs, man. Apparently it was a brawl in the court, almost a brawl in the courtroom or something. I don't know. I heard it was pretty awesome. And so everybody was waiting for the punishment verdict. Everybody was like, oh gosh, what's going to happen? And from what I understand, that dentist got probation. Jury gave him probation.
It's a woman, I think.
Yeah, female dentist. I mean, dentist. It doesn't, male or female, But apparently they gave her probation. Jury gave her probation. And, hats off to that defense team, Angela Welton and her co-counsel I'm not familiar with. I'm not saying I just don't know the name. I'm sure I know him. But hats off to them for pulling out a probation on just a horrible case. And 12 people said it.
Terrible.
12 people. That's not them doing it. 12 people said, we're going to put it on probation. But, she does have like $95 million to pay out. Adam, can you discharge in bankruptcy a lawsuit like that or no?
Certain lawsuits you can. For personal injury, those are typically not going to be dischargeable.
So she's stuck with that?
Right.
Wow.
This article said that her malpractice insurance didn't cover.
Well, she forgot to buy the $100 million policy.
Yeah.
Right.
She'll be paying that for the rest of her life.
I'll tell you what, however great Angela Welton and the defense team was, because they saved that doctor's life. I cannot say enough words on how much mental, physical, spiritual, emotional energy that took to try that case and to come out with the probation, that's an easy life case. Or I guess it's a reckless. So I think a reckless injury to child, I think it's 2 to 10. I think it's a 2 to 10 case because it's reckless. That's a max case. That's a max case. You put me on that jury, some dentist goes over and messes up my kid, dude, you're done. I guess that's why I wouldn't be a juror on that case, though. You're done. Not even. I'm gonna sue you for $1 billion, and you ain't gonna be able to pay it because you're going down. You're getting convicted. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, huge job on that, I think. Other big cases, Damon and the PD's office, along with a big group of people, got probation on a manslaughter.
Yeah.
So the question is we're seeing all these punishments, right, that are manslaughters or lessers or probation cases when the state is offering 40 and they're not going less than 30 years or 40 years. The question is do we have an overcharging problem at the DA's office, and what problems is that causing? What says you, Adam?
Well, I think what you touched on earlier is that you take it to the people, right? You let them decide. It's their county. It governs them. Their laws. They decide what goes and what doesn't. And what we've been doing is that we take more cases than not to the people. And I think it's important, given the outcome of these recent cases, that more lawyers do that, because what these offers are just ridiculous, the overcharging. We never know until we take it to the people and they decide and they tell us what's up.
I agree with the offers. Maybe the district attorney's office isn't in line with what the people are wanting. And maybe it's a shift that has to happen. Maybe Shantier's the answer to that. Maybe it's a cultural change. I don't know. But what says you, Justin, on this?
On the changes that are needed?
No, overcharge. Are you feeling that the district attorney's office is overcharging people, or their offers are just ridiculous?
Yeah, we talked about that a lot. And I think that some solutions that have been proposed, which I think wouldn't be bad, would be having intake prosecutors do some rotations in the trial courts and try some of the cases that they're taking the charges
That's
on.
True. Hey, we're talking to you, Sean Powers.
But
it's true though. It's true. You start getting the trial lawyers.
I don't know what kind of training they do. They have these meetings where they get told you no longer have discretion, you can't dismiss cases, and no fire sales and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like last I heard that they got training on how to conduct voir dire, how to do a proper commitment question. Do they ever go over the crime labs? They have to, right? They have to go to the crime lab and have the analysts for a blood DWI say, call me and I'll walk you through how this stuff works so you can better explain it to a jury. And I don't know. I just don't know. That's the kind of development professional development that I don't know that I would ever see, but I don't know what kind of stuff goes on in that office on that regard. And that's where I think anybody could do some improvement. It's more of that.
And I don't know enough to say much, but I think the last training they had was how to not abandon enhancements or something to that effect.
Yeah, I think it was how to not abandon enhancements. How about that for clogging up your docket? You get in a situation where the judge, and just recently I saw it in the court, the judge was like, hey, I'll offer 5. Because of the enhancements, not offer, judge doesn't offer anything, but you can go without an agreed rec. And the judge you can't commit to it.
Give them 5.
Yeah. Right. It's worth about 5. And the defense is like, yeah, it's worth about 5. And the district attorney's like, yeah, I kind of think it's worth about 5. But our office policy says we can't abandon the enhancement. So it starts at 15. So our offer is 15, judge. And it's like, wait, what did you just say? That you think it's worth 5, but your office won't let you abandon the enhancements. And so you have to go to 15. Is that right? Yes. So then we get to go to trial. So now we're stuck at a trial setting and clogging up the docket. I think that policy, I don't know. I just had a DA abandon a whole bunch of enhancements for me yesterday. So I'm not quite sure if that policy is sticking around, all right? That's just me. And yes, I agree.
You're going to make sure it never happens for you again.
Well, I agree with you, Justin. I think they should have the lawyers down in intake come out here and try some of the garbage you're taking in. It's my opinion.
Yeah,
It's my opinion.
It's a good one.
Fair.
they're not wrong.
No, but I think they're fixing it a little bit. They're starting to send some of the trial prosecutors down there as intake chiefs, who are very, 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 very experienced trial lawyers, and I think that might clean up some of the things. I mean, I'm just ragging on you, DA office. You know, we're a defense show, and to be fair, I think that's part of what they're doing. They're bringing in some of the trial bureau down there as intake chiefs to kind of watch what's coming in. Because I remember I was getting ag assaults with pillows. I'm getting ag assaults with Nerf bats, like Nerf bats, like not a bat, a Nerf bat. We've got what's the craziest weapon you've ever heard being alleged?
I mean, the hands, right?
Oh well, we get the hands,
Oh yeah, the
we get
hands. Deadly weapon.
I've had pillows. I've had at one point I had a cucumber alleged as a deadly weapon. Give me a break. Who's taking these cases? It's just me. I don't know. Look,
I think I had a bucket of ice once.
That could hurt, bro.
That's cold.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cold, bro. That's funny.
Cold.
That's good.
That was just your alley oop. There you go.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
He just sits around and says things like, "I'm smart enough to know I don't know very much," and then just like take my punchlines and drive him home.
It's good, man. Look, we did gossip, races, chases,
You got
dentist,
You getting the wrap up sign?
big
You gotta be
cases,
getting the wrap up sign soon.
and we were supposed to hit the legislature. We didn't even get to one new law.
Man, we need a whole show.
One new law. Okay, how about this? Next week, assuming we have nothing to conflict, we do a ledge update show. But it can't be super boring, bro. Cannot be super boring.
They passed all these small government Republicans in Texas passed like 700 something new
Well,
laws.
that's what I'm saying. We got to pick the good, sexy ones, man. We got the viewers we got to think of,
I'm fine with that.
Okay, we got to wrap now. Adam, last thoughts?
Here's one law change: prohibition of juvenile curfews.
So no more juvenile curfews?
Notwithstanding any other law, political subdivision may not adopt or enforce an order, ordinance, or other measure that imposes a curfew to regulate the movements or actions of persons younger than 18 years of age.
Hey, hide your kids, hide your wife, because everybody getting crazy out here.
The legislature was like, you know what? City of Houston can't have a curfew and that's great because when I was a kid, it was like 11 p.m. By law, I had to be home.
I wonder what the legislative history is about that. I would love to hear it. What are they just like? Maybe
some senator's son got arrested for breaking curfew at 1 a.m.
Okay.
Same reason why it's also a criminal offense to operate or assemble amusement park equipment while intoxicated.
I'm calling it HCLA Reasonable Doubt. Houston Media Source, always the best pair in town. Love you. I'll see you next week.